Can you imagine somebody just saying to you, you're not going to be an elder, you're going to be a deacon? I can imagine. The problem would not be with the street. The problem would not be with the fellas in the bar that we were with 2 years ago. The problem with doing unscripted things is not normally with the street. The problem with doing things not by the book is normally with the saints. Because we want to make sure that everyone is done exactly the way we think they should do, but God is moving in a new way. They didn't know where the wind was coming, where the water was falling, where the fire was burning. They were just told to go and wait and receive. I'm going to move in a way that you know not of, but when he comes, you're going to know what it is. When he comes, you're going to feel what it is. When he comes, you're going to have power. You're going to have an anointing. You're going to have a glory. You're going to be more than you were before. When he comes, you're going to have supernatural courage. Somebody say courage. They were all there on the day of Pentecost, and when the day of Pentecost fully came, they were all with one accord. And there it is right there. They were all with one accord, one accord. Can you imagine if the church was ever on, I don't mean just my church, just your church, but if we were ever on one accord, if we were ever on one accord, all of us on one accord, where the choir members were on one accord, and the choir was on one accord with the ministers, and the minister was on one accord with the administration on one accord with the deacons, and the deacons on one accord with the mothers, and the mothers on one accord with hospitality on one accord with security. If everybody was on one accord, and the one accord that brought us together was the fact that Jesus was in town. Jesus was going to move by his Spirit. And every time you came to church, girl, I don't know what's going to happen today. Last week, Bishop went to preaching and wind started. We started hearing wind out of nowhere. I wonder what he's going to do next Sunday. He's liable to preach about the man by the pool and just lay on out on the floor and preach a sermon about pick up your bed and walk. I don't know how. What do you think, God? I don't know. And that's how it ought to be. We ought to always be on tiptoe anticipation of the next move of God. How is God going to answer that prayer? How is God going to move in that direction? How is God going to fill that position? How is God going to change that staff? How is God going to anoint that leader? How is God going to transform that mind? How is God going to deliver our lying and our cussing and our disagreement? How is God going to bring people from a different background together on one accord? How is God going to break us and humble us? How is God going to do it? But because it's God's church and because it's his program, God has the right to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it because it's his church.